Have you ever figured out what type of personality is Trump, the mayor of Valuetown? I actually have a little bit of interest in this personality type thing, so I've taken a few different tests. I've even taken this specific test. I'm not going to spoil it and let you know what I've gotten, but I will say that I have gotten a few different types of answers before. Some of these answers, they're a little bit personal, but I'll try to open myself up, right? Your chance to learn a little about me.
Oh my god!
The Madman! You regularly make new friends. So it's a little bit different being a streaming personality, right? Because you guys, you're all my friends.
Okay.
So from that perspective, I could answer like strongly agree, and then would call me an extrovert, but that's obviously dumb. I'm gonna go with the heart of the question. It's pretty tough for me to make new friends. And also, I do not pull my punches. Unlike some fools who might just be like, middle, or like, oh, it's a little bit true, it's a little bit false. Disagree! You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I'm not entirely sure if the key is various random topics or lots of your free time. Like, what if I spend a lot of my free time exploring one random topic that piques my interest? And one of the things that I've done lately is really look into how stocks are priced. I believe it's in the spirit of the question to answer small agree here. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. I'm gonna say moderate disagree. You often make a backup plan for, oh yes, of course, for a backup plan. Usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure, of course. Crap. Oh. Oh no. It didn't. Wait. I missed the attack. Oh my god. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Absolutely. Easy. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. So this goes into how I have like a bunch of tabs open. That is because I do not finish one project before starting another. Strong disagree. You are very sentimental. Strong disagree. Not sentimental at all. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. Nah, waste of time. Not a waste of time. I actually think they're a little bit useful, but it's not time efficient to do so. That said, I do like have a list of things I need to do. Okay, I'll move it to moderate disagree. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. No, I'm very confident that I'm right. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interested in striking up a conversation. No way. That's too spooky. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. Yeah, what a waste of time. You're more inclined to follow your head than your heart, of course. Don't let yourself be fooled by this, when it's this that matters. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. That's basically true. I have to imagine most people would want to do what they feel like at any given moment, unless there's actually people out there who like, that's scary. I definitely just want a regimented schedule. That's really silly. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Yeah, you should just present yourself, and the people who don't like you, they don't like you, who cares? I used to be more scared to present myself, but after broadcasting for a while, I've realized that who cares what other people think. You enjoy participating in group activities. I enjoy working with competent people. Incompetence, though, terrible. I'm gonna give a small agree. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. I actually think that's kind of dissatisfying. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. No. What can I say? You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I've noticed that the test asks you a lot of things, the same thing in a lot of different ways to try to confirm, hey, you really believe this, right? And they just ask it in a different way. So this thing is obviously, are you a jack of all trades? Or do you know a lot about a little? And I definitely know a lot About a little. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Nah. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. No, I tried to be the leader. This is like the one thing that's an extrovert about me. Because if you want something done right, you gotta lead the group. You're definitely not an artistic type of person. Definitely not. You might think that broadcasting is an art, but I don't necessarily think so. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on Yes. That's what I just said. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself. No. That's future me's problem. You enjoy watching people argue. It is really fun watching live stream fails. It's like my guilty pleasure. Though that's not really about watching people argue, it's about watching people fail. So no, I don't actually like seeing people argue. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. So this is an interesting question, right? Because obviously, if I'm taking a test in front of hundreds, thousands of people, that's drawing attention to myself. Obviously, you aren't supposed to answer as if you're the broadcaster, I think, or if you're the online personality. Your mood can change very quickly. Now you might notice every single day that I come online, I'm always even keeled. Have you ever seen me not be stoic, so to say? You lose patience with people who are not as, oh my God. Okay, no, I'm actually very patient. I'm just humoring them though. It's possible that I'm just really good at being diplomatic, but I do inside lose patience. You often end up doing things at the, oh yes, last possible moment. You've always been fascinated by the question of what if anything happens after death. Not really. We all become dust particles. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. If it's specifically for an activity I like, yes. It's not like I like going to parties though. I'll put it in the middle. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Yeah, leave this to the eggheads. If you can't do anything about it, who cares? You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I haven't experienced a lot, but like, I can imagine myself in the situations. You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. See, this is where you're like, oh yeah, of course, right? Trump ropes all the time. But we have to take away my gaming persona. That said, this is actually still true. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Yeah. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. So it depends. If it's board games, okay, that's not a lively social event. You enjoy going to art museums. Oh, kill me. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. See, this is what they say about, they're just asking you the same question, different wording. So I said like medium agree there. This is a medium disagree. You would like to have a to-do list for each day. No. You rarely feel insecure, right? You avoid making phone calls. So this might have been a question that was more relevant in 2010. Nowadays, that's probably like, you just avoid talking to people through social media. I mean, I don't even use a phone. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I do think it's important to study the opposition. Walk a mile in other people's shoes, then you understand your own position better. Maybe sometimes you even change your own mind. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. No, if your plans are interrupted, your top priority is get back on track as soon as possible. No, that's not my top priority. If my plans are interrupted, the plans get interrupted, that's fine. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. You know, I think everyone has their regrets, and I'm certainly not an exception, but, you know, move on. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Yeah, I mean, the meaning of life is just to have fun and make the world a little bit better than it was. Your emotions control you more than you control them. No. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault. Yeah. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Yeah. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. What? No? You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. So I went to business school, and what I knew is I didn't want to be an accountant because an accountant doesn't work with people. You just work by yourself. And I really distinctly did not want to do that. I know that whatever I wanted to do, I would want to collaborate with people in some way. I want to be a performer. I want to sell people something, discuss things with people. No, I don't hate what I'm doing because I'm not alone. I have you. That's what's so great about business. Business requires people. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. So I don't think it's a waste of time. I think we should definitely have people who do that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to do it. I believe everyone in the world should min-max to their abilities. And if you have a talent for philosophy, then you should do that. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. No. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. I think I'm decent at reading people. I'm going to put moderately agree. You often feel overwhelmed. No. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Mostly disagree. There's a certain appeal to chaos. I think being able to skip steps is actually very good. You were very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. Yeah, that's live stream fails, right? You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Yes, I'm a bad person. You struggle with deadlines. This is a mild disagree. I usually hit the deadlines and it usually is right on the deadline. Okay, we'll do mild agree. You feel confident that things will work out for you. Yes. Virtuoso, ISTP. Oh, that's the first time I've gotten that one. So most of these are pretty tilted in one way or the other. This is actually, I think, one of the higher extroverted scores I've scored on one of these tests. Definitely by far the highest observance score I've scored. I don't know if part of this was because I took it slower than usual explaining my choices, but I think that it makes sense. Like 100% assertive, jeez. Basically, yes, I know that I'm right. I wonder if that might be a little too assertive. People with this personality type are natural makers. So that would be broadcasting, right? We're making stuff. Obviously, not every single thing in the virtuoso bucket is going to be you. And it requires knowing a lot about yourself to know what pieces of yourself you see here. Because you split everyone up into 16 buckets and you shove them into one of the boxes, but they're not going to fit the box perfectly. In reality, you're a little bit of this, you're a little bit of that. Strengths: optimistic and energetic, cheerful and good-natured, maybe like especially assertive ones, rarely get stressed out, preferring to go with the flow. Okay, that one's just speaking to me. I guess that's a 10. Creative and practical. Virtuosos are very imaginative when it comes to practical things, mechanics, and crafts. Novel ideas come easily and they love using their hands to put them into action. But to some extent, that's something like doing a free-to-play run, right? Spontaneous and rational. Combining spontaneity with logic, virtuosos can switch mindsets to fit new situations with little effort, making them flexible and versatile individuals. I'm that. Know how to prioritize. This flexibility comes with some unpredictability, but virtuoso personalities are able to store their spontaneity for a rainy day, releasing their energy just when it's needed most. Great in a crisis. All this hands-on creativity and spontaneity, it's no wonder that virtuosos are naturals in crisis situations. People with this personality type usually enjoy a little physical risk, and they aren't afraid to get their hands dirty when the situation calls for it. Yeah, life would be a bit boring without crises. Relaxed. Through all this, virtuosos are able to stay quite relaxed. Yeah, I'm like Mr. Relaxed. They live in the moment and go with the flow, refusing to worry too much about the future. Weaknesses: stubborn. As easily as virtuosos go with the flow, they can ignore it entirely and usually move in another direction with little apology or sensitivity. If someone tries to change virtuosos' habits, lifestyles, or ideas through criticism, they can become quite blunt in their irritation. Maybe. Insensitive. Virtuosos use logic. Even when they try to meet others halfway with empathy and emotional sensitivity, it rarely seems to quite come out right if anything is even said at all. You know, when I call you dumb, it's joking, you know? Private and reserved. Virtuoso personalities are notoriously difficult to get to know. They're true introverts, keeping their personal matters to themselves and often just prefer silence to small talk. That's true. Easily bored. Yes. Enjoy novelty, which makes them excellent tinkerers, but much less reliable when it comes to focusing on things long term. Once something is understood, virtuosos tend to simply move on to something new and more interesting. Yeah, I mean, why would you keep doing something that you knew how to do? Does anyone actually do that? You've been playing Hearthstone for 7 years. So, like, this is the best job, one of the best jobs in the world, but still, in your job, you don't necessarily get to choose the thing that you really want to do the most. If it were really up to me, I would probably be playing something else, but to some extent, you have to pander to your audience. Dislike commitment. Long-term commitments are particularly onerous for virtuosos. They prefer to take things day by day, and the feeling of being locked into something for a long time is downright oppressive. This can be a particular challenge in virtuosos' romantic relationships. Risky behavior. The stubbornness, difficulty with other emotions, focus on the moment, and easy boredom can lead to unnecessary and unhelpful boundary pushings. Just for fun, virtuosos have been known to escalate conflict and dangers to see where it goes. Something that can have disastrous consequences for everyone around if they lose control of the situation. Romantic relationships, we don't need to see this part. It's tough enough fitting someone in the box, but like fitting romantic relationships and friendships, it's like, this is where I like start to not really believe in this stuff. With their well-rounded and interesting array of hobbies. No, that's not me. People with the virtuoso personality type have no trouble at all making acquaintances to share their activities with. What? Didn't I answer like everything in the opposite there? Career paths. Oh, mayor? The virtuoso personality type is probably the hardest to pin down in many aspects of life, but especially in their careers. Virtuosos thrive on diversity and unpredictability, on wondering what's next every morning. This makes virtuosos one of the most mysterious personality types, but also one of the most versatile in the professional world. Virtuosos are born problem solvers with an unwavering focus on practical solutions, though perhaps not always solutions to practical problems. No other type is quite as fascinated by how things work, how tools can be used, and how facts can be put together to create immediate and satisfying results. This combination of curiosity and hands-on vigor makes people with the virtuoso personality type excellent mechanics, engineers, graphic designers, and forensic scientists. Perhaps most important to virtuosos, though, is the feeling that they aren't stuck. The freedom to wander, the freedom to declare their own schedules, their own responsibilities, their own environments. Nearly every other consideration pales by comparison to the need to avoid inflexible commitments and stodgy colleagues. While this can be a significant hurdle to overcome in traditional employment, it is the chiefest allure of entrepreneurship. Well, that's like the most real thing in this entire thing. Super true. What you have read so far is just an introduction into the complex concept that is the virtuoso personality type. You may have muttered to yourself, wow, this is so accurate, it's a little creepy, or finally someone understands me. You may have even asked, how do they know more about me than the people I'm closest to? This is not a trick. Oh, hold on. They're trying to sell you something. Premium profile coming up. You felt understood because you were. We've studied how virtuosos think and what they need to reach their full potential, and no, we did not spy on you. Many of the challenges you faced and will face in the future have been overcome by other virtuosos. You simply need to learn how they succeeded. But in order to do so, you need to have a plan, a personal roadmap. Are you ready to learn why virtuosos act in the way they do? What motivates and inspires you? What you are afraid of and what you secretly dream about? How can you unlock the power of the pyramid? Our premium profiles provide a roadmap towards a happier, more successful, and more versatile you. $49! Wow, this took a dark turn.